For today's video on budget commanders from Battle for Baldur's Gate, I started with the background first, rather than the commander, and then trying to pair that with the background. Agent of the Iron Throne calls to me. It is an aristocrat player's best friend. I could have gone mono-black with something like Shadowheart Dark Justicar, or maybe Orzhov with Ellen Harbree's Busybody, or Lulu Loyal Hollyphant. I've already built a Golgari Aristocrats deck around Cultist of the Absolute and Wilson Refined Grizzly, so I didn't want to build another one. Instead, I decided I wanted to build a Rakdos Aristocrats deck, and so I chose Baeloth Barrityl Entretainer to be my commander. Before we take a closer look at our commander pairing, I just wanted to quickly ask you to like and subscribe. It really does help the channel and the YouTube algorithm. I've also started a Patreon for people who wish to support the channel directly. For fans of this channel who have been asking for me to build decks around specific commanders, there is a tier for that. You can sign up on patreon.com/Danon or click the link in the description below. With that out of the way, let's get into the video. Baeloth Barrityl Entretainer is a legendary 2/5 elf shaman who says that creatures our opponents control with less power than Baeloth's power are goaded. Additionally, whenever a goaded attacking or blocking creature dies, we create a treasure token. We also get to choose a background. Agent of the Iron Throne makes it so the commanders we control have, whenever an artifact or creature is put into a graveyard from the battlefield, each opponent loses 1 life. So as long as we have both Baeloth and Agent of the Iron Throne on board, every time we sack a treasure, each opponent loses 1 life. So what are our goals with this deck? First of all, we want a few ways to pump Baeloth permanently. With that being said, we're not a Voltron deck. We're an Aristocrats deck. So we've got all the usual suspects: creature creators, sack outlets, and aristocrat payoffs. But before we dig too deeply into the deck, we should keep in mind our checklist. 50 mana sources, usually split between 37 lands and 13 pieces of ramp, 10 pieces of card advantage, 8 to 10 pieces of spot removal, 2 to 3 board wipes, 2 pieces of graveyard hate, and 1 sudden I win card. I wanted all of our pump spells to serve a purpose or be very inexpensive. So we've got Unholy Strength, Dark Favor, and Dark Privilege, which doubles as a sack outlet and a way to protect our commander. We've also got a Fake Your Own Death and Demonic Vigor as ways to protect our commander, as well as a Hunted Horror and Hunted Dragon as ways to give our opponents creatures that could be goaded. The rest of our repeatable sack outlets consist of Viscera Seer, Woe Strider, and Skullport Merchant. For token generators, we've got Tilinali's Summoner, a card I've been wanting to play with for a while, and I think it fits the theme of this deck. Young Pyromancer, Krenko Tin Streak Kingpin, Siege Gang Commander, and Atsushi the Blazing Sky. Reassembling Skeleton for repeatable sacrifice fodder, and Disciple of the Vault, Blood Artist, Vindictive Vampire, Zulaport Cutthroat, Sir Conrad the Grim, Mayhem Devil, and Reckless Fireweaver as our payoffs. I know that Reckless Fireweaver triggers when an artifact enters the battlefield. It isn't technically an aristocrat, but we're making a ton of treasures here, so he serves a similar purpose. For spot removal, we've got Feed the Swarm, Abrade, Chaos Warp, Terminate, Bedevil, Fleshbag Marauder, Shriekmaw, Plague Crafter, along with Zat's Will and Rakdos Charm as our first 2 pieces of graveyard hate. For board wipes, we've got Blood Money and Reckless Endeavor. Depending on our board state, either of these could be used as a sudden I win card, but both of them also pair very well with Revel in Riches, which is our real sudden I win card. I know that the card is almost $18 right now, but I was able to sneak it in and keep the deck under $100. We've got a lot of card advantage that also makes use of treasure tokens in Deadly Dispute, Big Score, Pirate's Pillage, Unexpected Windfall, and Professional Facebreaker. We're also running Village Rites, Thrill of Possibility, Read the Bones, Sign in Blood, Outpost Siege, and Smothering Abomination. For treasure generators beyond the already mentioned Revel in Riches, we've got Descent into Avernus, Tempting Contract, Shiny Impetus, Mahadi Emporium Master, and Brass's Bounty. Zorn doesn't make treasure tokens, but he does help us make more of them. Soul Ring, Mind Stone, Arcane Signet, Talisman of Indulgence, and Rakdos Signet all serve as our mana rocks, while Dark Ritual and Seething Song work as rituals. Finally, a Burnished Heart and a Solemn Simulacrum to fetch extra lands. Speaking of lands, we've got Dragonskull Summit, Sulphurous Mire, Smoldering Marsh, Temple of Malice, Drossforge Bridge, Rakdos Guildgate, Bloodfell Caves, Command Tower, Exotic Orchard, Bojuka Bog is a third piece of Graveyard Hate, Myriad Landscape for additional ramp, Evolving Wilds and Terramorphic Expanse for mana fixing, 11 mountains, and 12 swamps. So let's see how our deck compares to our checklist. 51 mana sources split between 36 lands and 15 pieces of ramp, but 2 of those are rituals, so it's fine. 11 pieces of card advantage, 10 pieces of spot removal, 2 board wipes, 3 pieces of Graveyard Hate, and 1 sudden I win card. So the deck checks all the boxes and is a lot of fun to play. I always enjoy the Aristocrats archetype. That slow, careful grind until you suddenly have all the pieces assembled, sacrifice a ton of creature tokens, and poof, you win the game. It's one of my favorite ways to play Commander. But this deck probably needs some upgrades, so let's see what we can come up with. To start, I'd want to add more treasure creators in Captain Lannery Storm, Reign of Riches, Pitiless Plunderer, Goldspan Dragon, Black Market Connections, Dockside Extortionist, and Ancient Copper Dragon. For additional damage, I'd want both Impact Tremors and Perforos, God of the Forge. So here's what the deck would look like if we made those changes, as well as upgrading some of our lands. As you can see, the price has shot up to over $350. But you have an improved mana base, and far more treasure tokens with which to cast your spells and kill your opponents. All in all, I love this deck and can't wait to play it against my unsuspecting friends and family. Thanks for tuning in. Once again, a huge shout out to my editor Cute Stuff. I couldn't make these videos without you. If you'd like to hire her to edit your own videos, there's a link to her Fiverr page below. Please like and subscribe for more content. I post new Commander videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Or you can click here for additional videos. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all again next time on Commander by Damon.